We are on a road to oligarchy. This is what the next 6 months could look like if Trump policies remain unchecked. America is changing. The balance of power is shifting. And if we continue down this path, the country as we know it may never be the same. The Trump administration's second term is accelerating a transformation, one where the wealthy and powerful consolidate their grip on the country, while the majority struggles to survive. The administration has proposed slashing Medicaid funding and imposing work requirements. 600,000 people will lose access to health care. Food assistance programs like SNAP are being cut by nearly 30%. Millions of low-income families will be left to fend for themselves in an era of rising inflation and economic uncertainty. Cuts to Social Security disability insurance leave thousands of vulnerable Americans without financial support. Meanwhile, the retirement age is pushed to 70, forcing millions to work longer in deteriorating conditions or be left with nothing. Public housing programs are being privatized. Thousands of families face eviction as housing subsidies disappear. For-profit real estate developers thrive while homelessness reaches record levels. Worker protections are being stripped away. Overtime pay is eliminated. Minimum wage remains frozen at $7.25 while inflation skyrockets. Corporations, freed from regulation, are shifting millions of workers into independent contractor roles. No benefits, no security, no rights. With the rollback of child labor protections, minors are being pulled into dangerous industries. Corporations profit, while children trade their education for survival. Occupational safety standards are gutted, leading to dangerous working conditions. Employers have more power than ever to exploit labor, knowing workers have nowhere else to turn. New laws make protesting a crime. With harsher penalties, even peaceful demonstrations are met with force. Dissent is being silenced. New domestic terrorism laws allow the government to monitor and detain political activists under vague anti-government rhetoric claims. Facial recognition and mass surveillance expand under the guise of national security. No one is safe from the government's watchful eye. Journalists who expose corruption face lawsuits, job loss, and even arrest. The government tightens control over the media, ensuring only approved narratives are heard. Whistleblowers disappear from public view. Transparency is erased. Truth becomes a casualty in the battle for power. Mass deportations have begun. Entire communities are being uprooted as law enforcement cracks down with military-style force. Private prison companies are profiting from the incarceration of immigrants. Detainees, including children, are forced into unpaid labor, trapped in a system with no escape. Show me your papers laws allow police to stop and detain anyone suspected of being undocumented. Racial profiling increases. Fear takes hold in immigrant communities. Essential industries, agriculture, construction, food service struggle as labor shortages increase. But instead of adjusting policies, the government doubles down on enforcement. Public education funding is gutted. With schools forced to close, only the wealthy can afford private schooling while millions of children are left behind. Higher education becomes a privilege for the elite. Student loans become more predatory, locking young people into lifelong debt with no relief in sight. Water, energy, and transportation services are privatized. Prices skyrocket, while low-income communities are left in squalor. Government contracts for emergency services, disaster relief, and even policing are handed to private corporations. Public welfare is replaced with for-profit control. Infrastructure crumbles in working-class cities, while tax breaks fund luxury developments for the rich. The divide between privilege and poverty has never been greater. This is the future that awaits us if we allow unchecked power to dominate. A country where the ultra-rich live in comfort, untouched by the struggles of ordinary Americans. Where human rights are commodities, not guarantees. Where justice belongs to those who can afford it. Where democracy is a relic of the past, replaced by a government that serves only its wealthiest donors. But it's not too late. We still have a choice. We still have a voice. The question is, will we use it? Vote. Organize. Resist.